It all began on a Sunday afternoon, one of those calm, uneventful days where the world seems to take a breath. I was sitting on the back porch with a glass of lemonade in my hand, watching the breeze ripple through the trees. The kids were off at their grandparents' for the weekend, and for once, the house was quiet. My husband, Adam, was inside watching a football game, or at least that's what I thought. That day, I didn't have the faintest idea that my marriage was standing on a lie, that a secret was curled up in the spaces between us like smoke in a room with no windows. Adam and I had been married for 13 years. We met in college, fell in love quickly, and moved in together before we even graduated. He had a charming smile, kind eyes, and a sense of humor that could light up any room. Over the years, we built a life together, 2 children, a home, countless memories. He was a devoted father, a reliable husband, or so I believed. Our neighbors across the street, Mark and Olivia, had been part of our lives for the last 5 years. They moved in shortly after their wedding and quickly became our closest friends. We had game nights, backyard barbecues, double-date dinners. Olivia and I grew close, the kind of friendship where you could show up in sweatpants and no makeup and still be welcomed in with a hug and a cup of coffee. Mark was quiet but friendly, with a laid-back charm that balanced Olivia's bubbly energy. There was nothing particularly strange at first. If Adam spent more time with Mark, working on cars, helping him fix up his garage, I didn't think anything of it. It was normal for guys to bond over tools and engines, wasn't it? Adam would come home sweaty and dirty, talking about how they'd fixed a motor or rewired something. I even joked once, "You spend more time in their garage than you do with me." He laughed and kissed my forehead, brushing it off. I smiled too. But now I remember that laugh. It felt too light, like it was covering something. The first time I noticed something really off was when I caught Adam deleting texts. It was late, and we were in bed. He thought I was asleep, but I heard the soft buzz of his phone and peeked through nearly closed eyes. He read a message and immediately erased it. Then another. My heart pounded, and I felt heat crawl up my spine. I wanted to believe it was nothing. Maybe a surprise for my birthday? Maybe work-related? The next morning, I brought it up casually while making breakfast. "You were on your phone late last night. Everything okay?" He barely looked up from his plate. "Just work stuff." Tony needed a few numbers. I nodded, but something inside me didn't believe him. Days passed, then weeks. The feeling didn't leave. Olivia came over one afternoon with a tray of muffins, smiling like always. We chatted about school pickups, grocery deals, and a new nail salon that had opened. But then she mentioned something that stuck with me. "Mark's been going out a lot lately, mostly at night. I don't ask questions. Men are weird." I forced a laugh. Adam's been the same. Always helping someone. I guess it's their way of avoiding chores at home. We both laughed, but the tension sat between us like a silent question neither of us wanted to ask. That night, I waited until Adam fell asleep. I picked up his phone, heart pounding so loudly I could hear it in my ears. I didn't even need a password. He hadn't changed it. I scrolled through messages. Nothing. Then I checked his deleted messages. There it was, a series of conversations with Mark. They weren't just friendly chats. "I missed last night. You were incredible. When can we have another excuse to meet?" I told Olivia I was working late. "Be ready around 9. My hands shook. My stomach turned to stone. I dropped the phone like it had burned me. The air left my lungs as I tried to process what I'd read. My husband wasn't just having an affair, he was having it with Olivia's husband. I didn't sleep that night. I watched Adam's peaceful face in the dark, wondering how long this had been going on. Wondering how I had missed it. Wondering how 2 people could live a lie so seamlessly. The next day, I called Olivia. My voice was trembling, but I tried to keep it steady. "Can you come over? I need to talk to you." She came within minutes, concerned.
I didn't waste time.
I pulled out the screenshots I'd taken, placed them on the kitchen table, and watched her eyes move over the texts. Her face paled. Her hands trembled. And then, to my surprise, she didn't cry. She whispered, "I had a feeling." I blinked. "You did." She nodded slowly. Little things. The way Mark would look at Adam. The late nights. The whispered phone calls. I just didn't want to believe it. We sat in silence, two women who had trusted the men in their lives, now suddenly bound by betrayal and heartbreak. Olivia and I didn't fight. We didn't blame each other. Instead, we cried together.
We tried to piece together the timeline.
It had been going on for almost a year. We made a pact that day to confront them separately and demand the truth. That evening, I asked Adam to sit down. I looked him in the eyes and asked him a question that felt foreign on my tongue. Are you in love with Mark? He froze. His face twisted in shock, then sorrow. He didn't deny it.
He didn't even try.
I didn't mean for it to happen, he whispered. It just did. I listened as he told me how he had started confiding in Mark during a rough patch in our marriage. How those late-night garage talks turned into confessions, then touches, then more. It wasn't supposed to go this far, he said. But it did, I replied. And you kept it from me, he cried. I cried. I wasn't angry, not yet. I was numb. The kind of pain that doesn't know where to land yet. Over the next few weeks, things unraveled. Adam moved into a hotel. Mark moved out of Olivia's house. Olivia and I leaned on each other more than we ever thought we would. We attended therapy separately and together. There were nights I screamed into pillows, wondering why this happened. Nights I walked alone for hours, trying to understand. There was no neat explanation. No satisfying closure. Adam told me that his feelings for Mark were real. That he hadn't been honest with himself for years. That his attraction to men had been buried deep, masked by societal pressure and fear.
I didn't hate him for it.
I hated the betrayal. The lies. The years I spent loving a version of him that he never fully was. Olivia and I made a decision to move forward with our lives. She filed for divorce. I did the same. Our friendship became something of a lifeline. We even joked once that we got the better end of the deal. We still had each other. Months later, Adam and I sat in a cafe to sign the final divorce papers. He looked healthier, lighter, like someone who had stopped holding his breath. He thanked me for the years we spent together, for the family we built. I nodded, still unsure how to feel. Love doesn't vanish in an instant. But trust? That's another story. Mark and Adam eventually moved in together. They were no longer hiding. They were out, public, and in their own way happy. I couldn't hate them for that. I rebuilt my life one day at a time. I went back to school, changed my hairstyle, repainted the living room. Small things that made me feel new. The kids had questions, of course. We answered them with honesty and compassion, protecting their innocence as best we could.